Everyone, this is Jack. I'm joined by Judy Yang. I'm sure some of you know her for better or worse. This is like a YouTube channel I just started, and I want to talk about dating. So I thought, who else but to invite Judy, given her experience plus the situation and the drama that's happened in the Facebook group. So yeah, do you want to introduce yourself as well, Judy?
Hi everyone, I'm Judy, and yeah, I was in the Facebook dating group. I think like from last year. But yeah, the weather here where I live is really nice right now, and I I currently am I'm working as a energy mentor, and
Hmm.
yeah, like I really like that job so far, and I have like a lot of other things I'm still focusing on.
Cool. Uh, yeah, I guess a lot of the audience probably is interested to know, like, some people who do know you want to know what exactly happened, and then some people who never heard of you probably wondering, like, why am I talking to this girl, and probably
hmm
why I'm watching this from the group. So, like, can you explain to me, like, what exactly happened in the group from your story point of view?
Yeah, definitely. I think in my one of like my first couple posts, I made a post about how like my preference is, a Korean guy that's like over like 6'2" and has like a bowl cut or something. And basically like people that didn't meet those preferences got a little upset or something, or when they like asked me to like hang out near their area, I kind of like rejected
Hmm.
them. And yeah, I get it. So I was going to like apologize about this, which I kind of did at the beginning of the year. um
Yeah, yeah. I felt like you did make up with the group. I don't know if you're even in the group anymore or if you got banned, and you can tell me what exactly happened.
I'm
So
still lurking
I'll kind of
around.
I'll summarize what I thought happened. So you made a post introducing yourself. You said, "Hey, I'm looking for a Korean guy." I mean, you lived in Korea apparently, so I
Yeah.
mean, for sure, because you showed me pictures of your ex and everything, and you enjoyed it there. So you dated a Korean guy. So
hmm
now, because you dated your ex is Korean, you probably want to date another Korean guy, which is not a big deal. And but you put your preference Korean guy 6'2", and a lot of people kind of like felt offended by that, or felt like you were being too picky, or and then kind of made fun of you for that. Is it because of that you kind of like lashed out at other people who kind of like did that as well?
Kind of. I think some of them were being kind of like aggressive to me, and I just wanted to like defend myself by doing like something like I could think of as probably was like kind of lashing out or just telling them to hey, stop or something, even though they won't just stop. But again, it's like social media, so like I can't do anything about
Yeah.
it.
Well,
At that
I
time, I
think
was
the
kind of
issue,
heartbroken too.
it's it's
So.
understandable. Like
Mhm.
I like I sometimes when I post, people take my post the wrong way. I made an introduction post in the group as well, and like apparently people thought I was gonna sugar daddy a girl or something, just because I was joking around about traveling and stuff, because I travel a lot. And then I see a lot of people post a lot of things. There's a lot of like a little bit too much ritual, and people often try to pick you out in the wrong light. I think the only thing I have to say to you is, like, I felt like your reaction was not healthy, and because you felt really emotional, you got really angry. I would get angry too, kind of like you get mad if someone's insulting you or like making fun of you. But how you react to it, it depends. It really dictates if you're reacting in a very healthy way or not, right?
Yeah.
Because what happened was I saw, like, one, you start blocking people is fine. Block if you dated a guy, you don't like him, blocking him, that's your right. Honestly, I think people took it the wrong way, but guys block girls all the time, and girls block guys all the time. It happens with social media and dating. It kind of gets kind of awkward when the person you just dated and you stop talking to, you're still like connected on Facebook. So blocking is fine. But what I noticed is that you made dummy accounts, and then you use that to like attack other people, or like get revenge on other people, and also to kind of like puff yourself out, up to like, promote yourself, say, hey, this girl's a lot better than yourself. And I felt that that was a little bit petty in a way. Like it takes up a lot of your time and effort, and it felt like it was going to ruin your reputation even more, especially since it was somewhat obvious that was you. So, I mean, can you say anything about that? Can you? I guess this is probably a good time for you to make an apology. I'm not going to force you to say anything. It's up to you to, what you want and what you want to specifically apologize for. But yeah,
Yeah, it's definitely true. Like, I did use some accounts. Like, I actually made those accounts in the past during high school when I was trying to do some like giveaways, but like, I just happened to remember those, and I just wanted to keep myself like kind of anonymous, and just to kind of say like, oh, what you're saying is wrong.
I would
Like,
have confronted them like in my real account. I felt like it would have been more healthy if you like you wanted to say something to them, like say it in your real account, and then like just to show that's you, and then people won't speculate and won't like, you don't like hide yourself. Like it's kind of cloak and dagger to like, post comments on in an account. Uh, but as long as you feel like it was not like something you plan to do in the future anymore, and like you want to move away from, because I felt like it was unhealthy, and I'm kind of like not involved in any of this. I don't know why people acted the way they did exactly, and I'm sure they'll comment or they'll reply to his video with their responses, and maybe I'll talk to them as well to get their side of the story. But I was interested to know like what the big drama was, and it felt like it really affected the group in a negative way. Do you do you feel like you regret making those posts at the very least? Is that something you agree with?
yeah, I definitely did regret my actions. Like at that time, like I don't know where my mind was going. I think I was just still like, I think I said I was like still like pretty heartbroken about stuff, and I want things like my way immediately. But I know that's definitely not good to like proceed,
Do
especially like
you and
dating and
sorry to interrupt you, but do you remember exactly anything you did that was like the worst things you did? Like what was like the worst things you felt like you did in the group, or like just a name, kind of like to reconcile your actions?
yeah. I was in like different accounts or anonymous posts, like I guess making fun or being mean to the people that were mean to me first, which I really shouldn't
Yeah.
have done.
Okay. Okay. That's good. I think that's healthy, and that's a good way to apologize. Just to admit like, what you did exactly, like, specifically, especially. I think a good apology is when you like specifically name things you say. The more specific, the better. But I think that's it's been probably months, if not like almost a year, since you that I think that stuff started. So
Yeah.
I think it's fine if you don't have the specific
I
details.
definitely
And
moved away from that though. I'm not
yeah, and
I'm kind of pretty busy now to like be doing those things and looking at that page.
yeah, I think the one thing I've learned from posting on and commenting on social media is it's not worth the time to get angry and then post things and have these like basically useless discussions that like don't like result in anything useful for yourself and then maybe the other person as well. And sometimes you get dragged in some kind of discussion because you commented, they responded, and then there's a chain reaction of you commenting and they commenting, and sometimes it ends up in a like insult or something.
Hmm.
But yeah, that's I felt like, especially with the group itself, is a good way to like waste a lot of your own personal time. Instead you could be doing something more productive, like maybe going on dates or something. But I want to kind of switch topics actually.
Hmm.
I think one thing that kind of sparked this drama between you and the group uh, was like your preference for like a Korean guy 6'2". The way I read it, I think I probably read your post a long time ago myself, was that you were open to a guy who's, or you preferred, obviously the taller the better. For girls, that's understandable. And then you like, I mean, you dated X who is a Korean. You probably miss him, so you probably want a Korean guy, someone similar to your ex. So I felt like that was like perfectly fine. Like especially like the, it's okay to have preferences that might make it difficult to find the person you want to date, but I felt like you were open to dating anyone. It's just like you preferred to dating a Korean guy. Is that the case?
I just wrote that because like my ideal preference when I thought of it like first, because of my ex, and then like, well, obviously like now I want to see like who's out there who like vibes for me. It's not just about like the looks and stuff. It's about the personality as well.
Yeah, yeah, I totally agree with that. And one thing one piece of advice I give to guys is that if a girl states her preferences and you don't exactly match her preferences, maybe like one or two, it's not. It doesn't mean that she won't even consider you. Like I've dated girls who are taller than me. I've dated girls who like said they preferred X and I wasn't X, and it worked out for me. This is advice I've been being told. Like if a girl says I don't like to date short guys, it doesn't mean you can't have a chance, right? Or you, it doesn't mean that you should give up on that girl
Yeah,
because there's a chance that she might still find you attractive in other ways, and she might not realize that she doesn't care too much about height or about whether or not you're Korean or Asian or whatever, you're bald or something. I don't know. Like I think the worst thing a guy can do is actually disqualify himself once the girl kind of like talks about like the quality she wants from a guy. And I think this is definitely true for preferences. Another point I wanted to make is the fact that preferences should be okay, right? It's okay to prefer, like, if you're gay, you want to date other guys, that's perfectly fine. So when you want to be like picky and you choose like some guy who's tall as your preference, that's perfectly fine too. In the same vein, so I felt like it was really wrong for people to attack you for that. I mean, obviously, the way we acted was not positive either. So I have to rebuke you for that as well. But I felt like the nature of like dating kind of entails that people have preferences. So I think it was very lame of people to kind of like attack you or make mock you or make fun of you for it. And it was, and it's also a kind of like an ongoing meme as well. Uh,
oh, it's too bad to hear. Like again, I'm like deeply apologize for this whole like bomb that exploded in the group. I If I could change back time, I would definitely like change this and how I like perceive to others.
yeah, and the warning I have for other people, like when you do post, you kind of like establishing your reputation. So the way you act and the way you do things, especially in the dating space, especially, kind of affects how well you date other people, especially in a community like the Facebook group and other groups
Mm-hmm.
as well. Um, and like if you have a bad reputation, or another point I like to make is like if you get mad, it's actually terrible for dating, right? It puts you in a bad light. It makes you look unattractive, guy or
Yeah.
girl. So a piece of advice my dating coach has given me and that I try to follow is try not to get upset, right? It's okay to like, push back on things when people are pushing against you, but don't let it ruin your night. Like for example, if like you're on a date, I like to give the advice that like if say the menu is wrong, like the waiter gives you the wrong dish or something, or there's something wrong,
Mm-hmm.
it's okay to correct the waiter, but you shouldn't like get angry, you shouldn't get mad, because then she's gonna notice it. Then she's gonna like, oh, this guy gets mad like quite easily. And then if you kind of like show, behave in a way or react to that anger in a way that doesn't seem healthy, it's a huge turnoff for a girl. It's also a huge turnoff for a guy too. So like, um, getting mad over small things is like something I felt like you should totally avoid in the dating space. Is that something you agree with as well?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I guess like I usually use dating apps to find potential partners to like talk to, and I'm normally really positive. I think honestly, this group I wasn't like at first I was like trying to like perceive as nice and stuff, which I
Hmm.
am usually nice. It's like But then I made those preferences and I got, I guess, pretty angry, and that just made me look pretty bad
Well,
afterwards.
it's I mean I won't remove your agency, and I'll still fault you for like reacting the way you did, but like it's also a chain reaction, right? Like they someone starts something, they say a comment, maybe they're joking, maybe don't intend to be hurting you, but then they make it and you feel hurt, you feel offended, uh, and that makes you angry, and then you attack them, and then they feel the same way, and then so you have like a chain reaction of like insults and negative comments towards each other, feeds on each other, and so in terms of social media posts, it's a terrible waste of time, basically. Yeah, but can you? I think I felt like when we met in person some time ago, you felt like dating was really frustrating for you. Can you talk a little bit about like how dating has been and like what has like made you kind of almost given up on dating?
Yeah, for sure. So, I still use the dating apps to I guess rely on like finding people that vibe
Hmm.
with me, but like I think there to be honest, there isn't really like any groups here, like social group I can go and like hang out with. Or I think in the past maybe like I was like pressuring myself to like find like a guy to like talk to and potentially be like their girlfriend, but that
Yeah.
didn't work. That was like pretty bad. And I just learned from my friends to just be yourself, be natural, like go to these events
I
without
hate that advice
expecting
actually.
anything. So that's one of the best advice she gave me.
Mm, I'm not a big fan of that kind of advice, actually.
Oh, you're not?
But I mean, it's something. But yeah,
I
I
don't know.
remember you told me like there were not so great dates. Can you name? Don't you don't have to name specific people. Obviously, don't name drop. But like, talk about any dates that you felt like were not great, and then talk about the dates that were good.
Yeah, for sure. I would say this first one's like kind of good and bad, because like I met this person on Facebook dating. I think like a month ago. We were planning to see the cherry blossoms on a weekend. It was really crowded, so
Hmm.
unfortunately, I didn't get any pictures. Like the date was like pretty fun. We ate like at a healthy cafe called Cafe Flora, and like I think he met like all my preferences. He's like really nice, oh, except that he's
Yeah.
Chinese, but like he's like really
Oh
nice.
darn, he's not Korean.
We were like laughing a lot. I thought we vibed until I said like, "Oh, do you want to like?" I text him like, "Oh, do you want to hang out some other time?" And he's like, "Unfortunately, I'm not like the fit for him, or we don't vibe because we don't have like common interests or values." Which I
Hmm.
kind of get it, because he's probably like gonna move. He's thinking about moving like next year, a couple more years to go back to California, where he's from.
Yeah. Yeah, I think one of the issues about dating right now is that um, a lot of younger people now are so involved in many different things that they don't have time to date, and it's not a big a priority as I think previous generations. And I could be wrong. I'm just guessing out of my ass here.
Probably
But
true.
that's one. But then two, like I feel like with dating apps specifically, it's been harder and harder to like match with higher quality people actually. So I felt like dating via dating apps has been getting harder and harder, and I assume that's probably something you've probably noticed yourself. But regarding the date, actually, the date he set up sounds pretty good. Like the guy knows what he's doing in terms of running dates. And I felt like you told me stories of other guys who like took you out to like a really fancy restaurant, and which is not a very good idea for a first date because it costs you a lot of money, but then it also ruins the mood, right? Like it's more about the food at that point rather than the conversation and the person. So one piece of advice I like to give guys and anyone who's watching is like try to pick a date that's very low investment. So not just money, not just like how much she's paying or you're paying, but like how easy it is to get there, how much time it takes to like do it, and the commitment of time like to do the activity. That gets girls to say yes more often, and then also like the focus then shifts from like making sure you're getting much out of the activity and more toward the conversation and the vibe and meeting the other person. Is that something you agree with as well?
Um, I don't know. I guess it kind of depends. We'll actually have another date coming up this Sunday. He
Ooh,
mentioned that he wanted to go to a restaurant, but I didn't say anything about. I just talked to like if he wanted to go to a cafe. So I don't know if I should switch it up to ask him to go to a cafe or just do what he
I
thinks. What do you think?
I mean, if he picks a restaurant, it depends on the type of restaurant. I recommend if it's like a casual dining restaurant. I think that's fine. With casual dining is kind of a nebulous term, but it can span from anything as low as casual as Chipotle to as fancy as say Applebee's or something like like a bar and grill kind of place. Anything else and things in between could be like Wingstop or not Wingstop, like what's it, Buffalo Wings or something.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah. So like like places you do sit down, places like majority people order. There's a waiter and so forth. That's like casual dining. That's like a Thai place, like a mid range sushi place. That's casual. Whereas like if you go to a place and it's like omakase or like there's a set menu that you order or something, or the dishes are really expensive, then like the mood and then the interaction is just a lot more different. Plus, like
Mhm.
it's not a fun vibe. It might be like too upscale. It might be too tight in terms of like the expectations of like the I don't know the conversations and interactions you have.
Yeah. I kind of looked this restaurant up. It's like American casual. Maybe it's called Cafe, or it's called Daegu Cafe, or
Guru
not
Cafe.
cafe, restaurant.
I mean, does it serve burgers and stuff? You said it's American, right? I assume
I'm
burgers,
gonna look it up
like
really
grilled
quickly.
stuff, like wings, burgers, or maybe it's a steakhouse or something, which I think is a little on the up to upscale place, but like it's not the worst thing in the world. I mean, either way, it doesn't really matter. I think a restaurant's fine. I
Called
mean,
Daegu Market, like
there's a
sandwiches,
lot worse things in
pizza.
restaurants, right?
Yeah.
Like movies, like hiking. I felt like those. I think a walk in the park is actually pretty good. So what your friend did, what your date did, was actually a pretty good idea because spring you can still see the cherry blossoms. That's kind of romantic. It's a good way to walk around and vibe. We can during the walk you can go to a cafe, get some tea, and then vibe there, and then like go on from there. Maybe at the end of the activity you get hungry, you get dinner afterwards, right? So, but I think a guy inviting you to dinner at a restaurant, it's pretty standard, and I think it's not a bad thing either, especially if he likes the place himself. But what's like the worst thing? I mean, have you had a date where like a guy invited you to like a terrible venue or a venue that just didn't work out?
Um. Yeah, there have been some in Korea, definitely.
Like, can you name like example?
Yeah,
I'm
sure.
kind of
So
interested now.
like, I was trying to find someone to like hang out with in Hyundai for a weekend, and like,
Hmm.
I'm not sure. I was like just trying to figure out like who I want to hang out with, and this guy like kept texting me, calling me many times, and then I finally
Ew.
like said like, okay, all right, let's just hang out. So we went to have like chicken and like makgeolli, which is like I thought it was good, but I get like terrible like acid reflux like when I eat those two especially. Um,
Yeah.
so like I ended up like throwing up, and then or no, sorry, like he went over to he said like he wanted to get a taxi for me. Okay, I was really drunk, so like, and then for some reason like he came to my hotel and then he laid down on the bed
What the
and I
heck?
was like, what the hell, like get out of here. And he was like, all right, give me back all the money then. I was like, what the so
Yeah, that's
that wasn't
I
good
hate it when
at
guys do
all.
that. Like, oh, okay. That sounds pretty bad, actually.
Yeah,
But
that was
why'd you
really
let him
bad.
into your place if you didn't want him? Like, I guess you were
I was
okay with
really
chilling, but then,
drunk.
yeah, but then he just laid in the bed. I guess he was trying to hook up
Yeah,
with
he
you.
was
Is that
like,
why?
oh, you don't love me. He's like, you don't love me in
Like what the
like
hell?
funny English accent.
Yeah, he's trying to like reverse game you is what we call that, but like that's it's a terrible way to do it. It doesn't really work, right?
What does that mean?
Um, well, reverse game means like he's reframing it to that you don't pursue him enough. Basically, is what he's saying. And girls say that to kind of get the guy to like pay attention to her more. But he's saying it, and that as a guy, that seems very weak. That's a very I'd say I think shallow, kind of thing, like an attempt at manipulation, but like very poorly done. So that's very
Mm.
obvious when it comes from a guy, especially a guy you just met. But yeah, from a couple of things I noticed there. One is like Korean dates are very common in terms of alcohol. So like you go on a date with a girl, or if a girl suggests she wants to go on a date with you, most of the time she says chimek. So it's like beer and
Yeah, cheating.
chicken, or makgeolli with chicken. I actually hate dating in Korea because of that. I mean, I love dating in Korea, but like I hate eating the food while I'm on a date because it's not as healthy as I liked it to be. Because fried
Definitely.
chicken and beer is very common for dates. So common for dates that if a girl likes you, then she'll ask you out via like, oh, let's get some chimek. So it's like a good sign that a girl likes you if she does that, or a guy, I guess, or like if a guy who was a friend is asking you to go out and get beer and chicken is probably asking you out on a date actually in Korea. So that's something to keep in mind. But also one other thing is, yeah, that's kind of creepy that like you would like take you and then he lays in a bed. I think he got frustrated because like you were slightly drunk. You just drew up, so you're probably not interested in hooking up that night. So I think that turned out uh, like he complained to you because uh, he wanted to get laid, but you weren't interested. So he tried to like do anything he can to like try to coax you in
Yeah.
terms of like sleeping with him.
It's like
And
not
one way is like
professional dating. He should have just
demand money.
asked
Well,
me up front.
it's not just unprofessional. It's like rude. It's rude, and it's
Yeah,
like
yeah.
honestly, it's kind of pathetic. Honestly, like doing that is like first thing to keep in mind. That's not game. That's the opposite actually. If a guy is doing that, that means he has no game. Um, and like he that's another reason. So his complaint about like getting his money back, that's the one reason why I propose that like dates that you go on are cheap, so that if like nothing happens from the date, then at least you didn't spend so much money. And I thought maybe he felt like he spent too much money on you for the date. But I felt like the real reason he said that is kind of like coax you into sleeping with him because you feel like you owe him money or something, right? Is that
Yeah.
what you
That's
thought you
just
what happened?
yeah, for sure. He actually purchased more makgeolli like that I didn't even want. I felt like he just kind of lured me to keep drinking more and more of that. I had like
Oh, I see.
5 cups of that.
Yeah, he's trying to get you more drunk so that you put out, basically, from what I hear. It's like when I take girls on dates in Korea, I drink maybe a bottle, like half a bottle, and then whatever she wants to drink, she drinks whatever, right? Usually it's just a bottle as well to like get things in the mood. Uh, that's probably a bad thing to say, but yeah. So yeah, I never. So when I date girls in Korea, like we drinking because drinking is like a part of the culture of like dating and meeting, making friends, and so forth. Like coworkers drink too, so it's not like it's just a dating thing. But if you're on a date and things are going well, if you and the girl are both drinking, so that's how it works in Korean dating. Uh, so I actually don't like it. I hate drinking alcohol, but I have to because it's part of dating life in Korea. Um, and but yeah, to the extent that I have girls drink, I only give them and whatever they want, and I'm always surprised if they ask for more, and they usually never. But I have had girls like ask for more sometimes too.
In Korea?
Uh, yeah, Korean girls would ask more. I'm like, oh, yeah, because I don't drink that much, so yeah. But one reason why I like Korea actually is because you don't have to drive. Taxis are not too expensive, so I do like that. Because I don't recommend you drink while you're in America, because then you have to drive your car unless you can walk back to like back home or somewhere else. It's just kind of a hassle to drink on dates. Like you never drink on dates yourself, right? At least in America, right?
Yeah, no.
Oh. What has been like the best experience so far in terms of dates in Korea for you, actually?
That would be with my ex.
Oh, so how was the first date with your ex in that case? You don't have to be
uh,
specific. Just like, oh, like name like what kind of, like, you went to a restaurant,
maybe
you
for
went to
you
get fried
guys it
chicken.
might be a red flag, but like I mean, well, like first we went to like a place similar to round one is called Zon Games. I don't know if you know that place, and we played
Yeah, I
lots
know
of,
that place.
yeah, we
That's not a
played
bad
lots of
place. Yeah,
like games, like like DDR. Oh no,
it's an arcade kind of
yeah,
like place with like a bunch of claw machines and stuff like
yeah,
that.
yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. And then like after that we went to a place called, I think, oh yeah, it's Mega Coffee, and got like drinks. And then after that, we both know how to like play piano. So like he took me to like a piano studio that like we he knows well, and he showed me like his piano playing, and then like I play my piano, and then at the end he kissed me.
Oh, nice. I
Yeah.
think that's not bad. So one of the things that like I've had people tell me in terms of dating has been like you want to make dating like fun. Like the more interactions you have between people besides just eating, the better things can be. The better the vibe is, and then just having conversations only sometimes is kind of boring. So one thing I recommend to guys is like pick a venue where you're not just eating, you're probably doing some other activity, or maybe you have a venue afterwards or before where you're actually doing something physical. So one thing I do when I date girls in Korea actually is like take them to a darts place. I mean, the food's decent there. It's kind of like a bar and grill, basic generic food, pizza and wings. But then there you can play darts. You can challenge other people. You can play like cool darts games. It's
Oh.
pretty interesting. So it was like fun, but also like, like you get to like add more physicality to your interactions with the girl. So it's much more interesting for her. It's not so boring. You don't always have to be talking all the time. So like if the girl's shy, you're shy. You can break that tension by like just playing darts, and then you can kind of teach her. So it allows you to kind of like be closer to her physically. Um, and is that something like you felt like was great in the series of dates that you went with your ex as well?
Yeah, and we hung out more a lot of times afterwards, like going to different places throughout Korea, like Busan, Sinchon, stuff like that. And
Yeah,
yeah, we
Sinchon.
did a
Where
lot.
is that?
Yeah, that's like in Sinchon. I think it's like directly south of where I live, which is Daegu.
Yeah, I know what Sinchon is actually, but I was wondering if it's a separate city. It should be in Seoul too, right? I
Where?
guess it doesn't matter. It's fine.
Uh,
Like, so Busan is the second largest city in Korea. Yeah, usually I would go if I'm going outside Seoul. Besides Busan, I'd probably go to Incheon. Is that what you meant, or you went Sinchon? Because I heard Sinchon. I was like, maybe you mean Incheon, right? Or maybe I
Busan
misheard
and
you.
Suncheon.
Sinchon. Oh, okay. I don't know
Yeah,
where
it's
that
it's
is.
like a small city. Like,
Oh,
yeah.
okay. Never mind. Oh, okay, cool. Well, let's see. Moving on to a different topic. I felt like okay. So in terms of let's see, do you feel like date? What do you feel is like? What do you prefer to date? Like, do you prefer to date in Korea or do you feel like dating in America? And like, which one has been better for you?
I think obviously dating in Korea, because like the themes, like the venues are more fun and stuff. I
Yeah,
think
I
like
agree.
in terms of like how I communicate with the other people over there, maybe not too well or something. Like I think they just wanted to like get physical with me like immediately, and not wanting to get me like as a person more, if you know what I mean.
Oh, interesting. Did you feel like before you went to Korea, your perception was different than after or when we were in the Korea? When because you probably I assume you probably went to Korea because there were interesting Korean things that you were interested in, and you happened to like travel there and um, and live there because of that. Like I assume you were probably in K-pop or K-drama, which is no offense. And when like I'm sure anime guys like to go to Japan to like go to Tokyo as well and live
Yeah.
there. Um, and did your perception of what Korea was change after you lived there and dated and so forth?
Yeah, definitely. I was like pretty young. I was like 23. Like it was from 2021 to 2022. So it's like 3 or 4 years ago. And I
Mm-hmm.
remember like, yeah, things definitely were different like before. Like I thought things would be, or I thought things would be same as in like K drama, but it was like pretty different
Oh,
when I went there.
yeah. I think a lot of perception people have is that like Korean dating is slow. Korean dating is like because you heard probably these cultural like things like 30 days until like you do it with the guy or whatever,
Yeah.
or like 90 days, or I don't know how long it is. And this actually is somewhat true for relationships I've seen, but majority of dating in Korea, when there is dating, things do move pretty fast. And so like maybe 1 or 2 dates, or maybe even a single date, depending on how things feel. uh, so I felt like a lot of people come to Korea with a certain perception. That's why I asked you this question, and they get like changed completely based on what they see in Korea. Um, so it's not just in terms of dating, but like also like what Korea looks like and how it feels is very different than what you see in K dramas. I felt like in K dramas you see like a very Korea in a very good light. Like everything's nice. Majority of the people in K dramas are rich and good looking, and then
Yeah.
like you get to Korea and like majority of the city is actually quite modern, upscale, and clean and so forth, and it's definitely way cleaner than most cities in America actually. But then there's other aspects of like the city, like the alleyways and like certain less popular areas of Seoul where things seem kind of danky or not so modern or
Mhm.
rich. Like you have older houses, older homes, a lot of older people who are still working and so forth. So that was my perception that changed when I went to Korea myself,
Yeah.
and very different from like my perception because I watched Goblin. So like I thought like I really actually think this, but like my perception is like, oh, Korean people are rich, right? So like that's somewhat true. I mean, Korea is a pretty rich country, but like it's not rich everywhere. Not everyone in
Yeah.
Korea is like well fashioned and nice and so forth. Is that something you encountered yourself? You had like any good examples of that?
Yeah, definitely. Like I know definitely in like K dramas, it's like mostly in the like the fancy rich places like Seoul or Busan or Jeju. And I lived in Daegu, which is like a kind of like a
Mm,
maybe like a out older town compared to Seoul. And I did live in a really old neighborhood all the way in
yeah,
the east
and
of
the buildings are so kind of dinky.
yeah, and like
Although
run down.
in defense of Korea, like New York apartments are pretty bad too. So, and then New York buildings and stuff are pretty old. I felt, but like what the difference was like you could walk down the street and like you could see businesses like for fixing shoes and so forth that you typically wouldn't find in like New York or a big city in America unless it was like a bespoke place or something, for example.
Oh, you mean like the ones at the mall, like Alderwood or
No, no,
something?
I mean like repair shops and so forth, like some
Oh,
of these
okay.
smaller places that are like run by older people, an older generation of Korean people.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. But
Same.
anyways, how did you like dating in? I think I already asked you this, but like, um, is it frustrating now to like be back and then dating in America? Because I felt like dating here is just so much harder for so many different reasons. Can you talk about how you feel about dating here specifically now?
Yeah, I don't. I just think it's like difficult because like I already had like a serious relationship, and I thought that that was gonna work out, and like I feel like now I'm a little bit more picky after I had that like first relationship. So it's like kind of hard to be open to like the people I want to be with now, and I feel like the people that I found like attracted to doesn't like me, and the people that I'm not that like attracted to or interested in is like still like talks to me. So
Right. I mean, that's gonna happen. That's a part of dating, right? Like, there's gonna be people who like that, like you, they don't like, and you don't like them, and then vice versa. And hopefully, it becomes eventually a thing where like you like someone, they like you back, and things work out. And then of course there's logistics, there's people's work life, and they
yeah,
have other priorities. So like maybe they like you, but then they have to move, they have work. Um,
yeah,
so there's that, and also like the thing is like you're changing as a person as well. You're getting older. Like it happens to me. It happens to everyone. So like your dating is going to be like different depending on how old and where you are in terms of the marketplace. I won't talk too much about your looks or anything. So to be rude, not to be rude, but yeah, my friend who's been dating for a while, he's actually started to realize that the people he likes typically don't like him as much as they used to, and like in terms of like his dating pool. So it's something that I felt like people don't keep in mind when they're dating, or when they're shunning dating, to like focus on work, focus on projects, and they end up like pushing back something they should have been doing probably more sooner than later. um, and that's something I regret myself. And then like I assume that something you probably feel the same in terms of how things are, right?
yeah. I think like to be in like a committed actual relationship, there's like so many factors involved. So like about the moving thing, like you may have priorities like after like in the future, in the near future, and like so these are some like important like questions when I ask for like a potential partner, like, oh, like where do you see yourself in the next like 3 years, or where do you want to be, stuff like that, um as well as like hobbies, interests, and
Yeah.
like yeah.
I think my advice to you though is I think because you're using dating apps only as a source of like leads or dates, you might not be getting the best cream of the crop guys. A lot of the cream of the crop guys are not using dating apps. This is true for girls too. Like if you want to meet the hottest girls, the most attractive girls, you can't just use a dating app. And even if the same girl that would probably pass you on a dating app would probably actually be interested in you in person, uh, and because of how dating apps work, just as a FYI for guys. But I think one thing that I've noticed like is the newer generation of like younger people and who are entering the dating pool are actually looking to use alternative applications or in-person events to kind of meet people. A girl I talked to in our group actually met someone from a convention that she went to. So she met a boyfriend online, not online, but like in person from activity she was doing. And there's stories of people who are using workout apps to kind of chat with other members to like meet, potential dates and so forth, or people going to racket events. So like that's something I recommend to you, and or you can name certain events that you've gone to yourself to kind of like meet dates and meet other guys as well.
Well, I went to a club a couple of times. They're mostly girls,
Oh, that's
and
good.
yeah.
Well, you don't. I mean, you can go. I think girls that go to clubs, like you're not always going to meet a guy. Well, you can make it so it's more likely a guy will come up to talk to you, but you don't necessarily have to. And it's not the worst thing in the world if nothing happens. Although I feel like a lot of the culture nowadays is making it harder and harder to meet people in person or to make moves in person. Just because like there's like a negativity around pickup and so forth, and when you're approaching girls or talking to girls at a club or bar, then people think that you're picking up, and that these negative connotations, especially like, oh, why don't you use a dating app, like it seems strange, or like it used to be not very strange. It used to be the norm that you had to meet people like at a bar or like at an outdoor venue. Could be a cafe, could be a bookstore, and maybe it still happens, but it's not as common. And dating apps is kind of like removed our ability to kind of meet people in person, or encouraged us to meet people in person. So it's a lot. The girls react more differently now than they did before, and it also means like guys don't have that skill to like, come up and talk to a girl, and like say hi and then introduce himself, right? It's even though I haven't done it in a while myself, so I'm not actually as it used to be. But can you talk about, has there ever been a time for you like in the US where like a guy has come up to you and talked to you out of nowhere and it ends up being a date? Has that ever happened to you?
Yeah. So I was working at an art museum for a couple years ago. Yeah, and this guy like asked me for my number. Actually, two guys. The first guy, he like lives here. I think he was like younger than me. He was hanging out like his other friends, and then like and they're like laughing and looking at me. I don't know why, but then he walked up to me later, asked for my number, and then I guess
Hmm.
the next he texted me like he just wants to like see things out there, which I guess. So we did like a little escape room, but then
Oh, okay.
yeah,
That's
we
not a
just
good
went on
date,
one
but
date.
okay.
And the second one was funny enough. It was also at the art museum. Well, I mean, I don't know if it was like him like asking me to hang up, but like I think it was kind of like a language conversation because he's here from like Japan for like work,
Yeah.
and he was like,
Oh, is he Japanese?
"Yeah." So we
Oh,
went on a couple dates at like omakase and stuff like that. But he moved now.
really?
Yeah,
Like an expensive sushi place?
yeah. So one time it was like casual, the other time it was like
Oh, okay.
omakase. Yeah,
Like a third date, second date, that's not too bad for omakase. Yeah.
yeah.
Although that's a lot to invest in for something
Yeah, we
that
hung
might
out
not pan out
like
in some
five
way.
times, and then he said like he's moving to like Colorado or something.
Oh,
Yeah,
I see. I feel like, yeah, I feel like that kind of counts as like a boyfriend, at least a short term boyfriend, right? You might have been not so official, but like in a way that kind of is, because you went on like five dates. It would have been like 3 to 4 weeks or so. So I think no, I don't think that's bad.
yeah, it's pretty short. It's really too bad how like these like foreigners or like Japan, Korea, like just like they move really fast. Like I had some good friends from Japan when I was in like college back then, but they all moved back to Japan, and I couldn't keep a good
Oh,
relationship
okay.
with them.
I thought you meant they move fast in dates, because I think that's definitely true.
Oh
I
no,
know a
no,
few
these are
Japanese guys.
girlfriends.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, just sad I
Well,
don't talk with them anymore.
I mean, you could still go back to Korea. You don't plan to, I guess, anytime soon, for in terms of living, I guess.
No, not living. Maybe for traveling.
Oh, okay, that's cool. Well, I mean, I think time's about up. We can always talk more in another video. It was nice chatting with you, and hopefully, what we talked about was useful for anyone who's listening. And hopefully, this is a good way to kind of like repair your reputation and reconcile with the people who you attacked, and the people who attacked you.
Hmm.
And hopefully, this puts you in a better light than like the text that people read from your posts. That you're a human being, like you know, you bleed too.
Yeah.
and
I
yeah,
mean, I know
and
haters gonna hate. I'm just not gonna engage with them anymore.
yeah. I mean, I don't think I don't think the group is entirely full of like positive people either. But a majority of people I felt like are at least polite and conduct themselves pretty well. So,
Yeah,
um,
definitely. I definitely made some good friends through that.
oh, okay, that's good to hear.
Yeah.
Yeah, hopefully they can watch this video too. Then, all right. So this is our little call. I don't know if you call this YouTube channel like Jack's Adventure or something. But yeah, we talk about dating. We talk about traveling and so forth. I'll be traveling to Asia pretty soon myself, so I'll be
That's
talking
cool.
about topics in terms of like how dating is in different parts of the world, especially specifically in Asia, Japan, and Korea. So if you're interested, you can subscribe. I'll be talking about dating advice as well. So stay tuned. Thank you.
All right. Thank
And
you,
thank you,
Chad, for
Judy.
this lovely interview.
Yep, you're welcome. Bye.